I'm Mark Silverthorne. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to talk about what are the odds that your creditor will sue you. And I'm not talking about a scientific equation. What I'm talking about is an educated guess. And this educated guess is based upon my 3 decades of experience, 12 years as a collection lawyer, and a significant amount of time spent acting as a consumer lawyer representing consumers across Canada who are struggling with debt. The bottom line is this, is that there's 2 circumstances under which your creditor is going to be very tempted to sue you. Number 1, if your creditor can successfully sue you and put a lien on your property, in which case when you go to refinance the property or sell the property, your creditor will get its money plus post-judgment interest. The other scenario where your creditor will be very tempted to sue you is where it can sue you, get a judgment against you, and successfully recover monies from you via a wage garnishment. Now, we'll talk more about that later. The number 1 issue is, due to the passage of time, has a limitation period expired in connection with your outstanding account? Because if a limitation period has expired on your unpaid account, then your creditor is going to be very reluctant to sue you. And for more information about limitation periods, I would ask you to check out the description on this video, and there'll be links to other resources. The second issue I'd like to talk about are small balances. Your creditors are going to be very reluctant to sue you if you only owe them $2,000 or $3,000. If you owe less than $2,000 or $3,000 on an outstanding account, then it's simply not cost effective for your creditor to sue you, and the odds are fairly unlikely that your creditor will sue you. If your account has been purchased by a debt buyer, then the odds of you being sued may be greater than if your account is owned by your original creditor. And the reason for that is a debt buyer has probably only paid pennies on the dollar for your account, and the financial incentives are greater for a debt buyer to sue you than your original creditor. One of the key factors as to whether or not your creditor is going to sue you is if you own real property in your own name. Because if you own real property, it's a relatively straightforward manner for your creditor to sue you and put a lien on your property. Now, conversely, if you do not own real property in your own name, then your creditor may be much more reluctant to sue you. Now, there's one scenario where your creditor might be willing to sue you despite the fact that you do not own real property in your own name, and that's where you've got a great job. So I'm talking about a high-paying job in academia or the government. You may have a well-paying union job. These are well-paying jobs where the person is not going to quit if they get a wage garnishment. And it's important to understand that if your employer receives a notice of a wage garnishment, then they have to pay monies into court. You can terminate a wage garnishment by quitting your job. So, for example, if you're a dental hygienist and they make fairly good money and there's a high demand for their services, if I'm a dental hygienist if my creditor gets a judgment against me and a garnishment notice is served on my employer, then I can terminate that wage garnishment by simply quitting my job. And my creditor would have to find out who my new employer is before they could try and do a new wage garnishment. Creditors are reluctant to sue people who work in jobs where they'll just quit their job if they're subject to a wage garnishment. A creditor is going to be reluctant to sue someone if the odds of them being able to successfully recover monies by way of a wage garnishment are not good. So, for example, if you are paying a court order for support, then your creditors likely will not sue you. If you've been sued by other creditors, or if you owe a lot of money to other creditors, your creditor likely will not sue you. If you are unemployed, your creditor will likely not sue you. And if you support yourself on social assistance or pension income, your creditor will likely not sue you. So I hope that these insights that I've shared with you will help give you a better sense in answering the question, is my creditor going to sue me? Hi, I'm Mark from Debt Coach Silverthorne, and we'd like to get your feedback in terms of what some of our future YouTube topics should be. Draw from your pain and your own experience and let us know. I mean, for example, how to stop collection calls, or the top 10 tactics for protecting your assets and income from your creditors. But please let us know what kind of topics you would like us to cover in some of our upcoming YouTube videos. Thanks.